hey, yo, how you doing, guys? It's 1/5 for them boys. Me, the 1AJ, representing the Ministry of Wrestling. So you know what that means? We're here. And why are we here? Because AEW had a dream. Not just any dream, guys. It's a Wrestledream. That's right. Wrestledream 2025 is upon us. You know how it goes. It's getting more interesting. It seemed like a foregone conclusion, but maybe we have someone dead first. But you know what? All the other positions are there. And remember, as much as you celebrate a Ministry of Wrestling champion, the man who comes last gets a forfeit. So it's also interesting to see where that goes. I'm happy to say I'm climbing in the ranks, but all is not lost and all is not won. So here we go. Let's go with it. Jurassic Express versus the Young Bucks. The newly reformed Jurassic Express, shall I say, taking on the Young Bucks. Money on the line. Had the guys vote. Let's have a look. They're back, baby. Yes, they have done a few Dynamite collisions and maybe Rampages. I don't know. But what I do know is Jungle Boy or Jack Perry. I don't know if Jungle Boy's back, but Luchasaurus is definitely back, and Jurassic Express is 100% back. So this is their first pay-per-view back, and that's a strong indicator for them to win. But the other side of why I believe they're going to win is because I called it before. The Bucks are going to go through this losing transition, which then turn them face and back on the climb. And this money would put the Bucks back in business. So no, it won't happen. The losing streak continues for the Young Bucks. Jurassic Express for the win. Welcome back, Jack.
See, I was convinced that this was clean-cut Jurassic Express win. What scares me a bit is this stip 500k tag team match. Like, it's the Bucks who have got the money thing going on. You know, Nick Jackson having his gambling problem and then doing an angle with that over the course of a few weeks. I don't know what they're trying to get at by doing that. We're going to win lots of money angle again with the Bucks. It doesn't make a world of sense to me. Take the stip out, and I think Jurassic Express surely win. It's their big reunion party. But making a stip like that just makes me question what the hell's going on, as I said. It should be clear cut. You know, it doesn't matter. I'm not winning this season, so let's just go with my heart. Jurassic Express to win.
You can't go against the Jurassic Express on this one. Anyone pick the Young Bucks? It's crazy. Bucks are there now. It's like they're just making everyone shine. Like, they're not losing any rub on them. They're losing them with style. Like, they're putting on great matches, and then when they lose, it's just like, okay, the Bucks lost, but did you see the other team? So they're doing what veterans should be doing, is helping people up, and I can't even calling them veterans, and they're like really young still. But yeah, the Bucks are helping out, and you have the Jurassic Express, which, if you know, Jungle Boy is one of the reasons why I started watching AEW back then, and I stopped for a bit, started again, and well, I'm kind of in AEW. I know he's not called Jungle Boy anymore, but it was him and Luchasaurus teaming up together, and Christian. Come on, Jurassic Express is taking this. Come on, Christian, just team with them again. Anyway, that's enough.
This match will definitely be one of those feel-good moments. You know, you've got the reunion. You know, in 1 month we had Edge and Christian come back, and now this month we've got the Jurassic Express back together, Jack Perry and Luchasaurus. I know they called him Kill Switch there, but yeah, you finally got them together against the Young Bucks, and I believe there's 500k, $500,000 basically on the line as well, going to the winner. Now, obviously, they've just got together, and the last time I made a bet about a team coming together, I said that they were going to lose. More for me. So this time around, you know, you've got Luchasaurus, you've got basically Jurassic Express back together again. It's a no-brainer, really. Young Bucks, I know they spent all their money, and that's probably the reason why they're not going to win it again, because why would they win it and then do the same thing again? We've already seen that whole thing. So, you know, what could they do next? I think it's literally built for them to lose this match. And again, like I said, they could go on and challenge for the tag team titles the very next day. Well, actually, Jurassic Express could do that too, if I'm being really honest. But because it's that first match back as a tag team together again after all this time, and because it's one of those feel-good moments, because all the other matches are going to be so personal, emotional, and all those kind of things, you're going to get in your feels. With this one, just going to be that feel-good moment. There's going to be laughter. There's going to be like epic moments. So definitely the winner of this match, Jurassic Express, Jack Perry, and Luchasaurus.
So, interesting to see Jurassic Express back together, man. It's just like a hard reset because they just realize whatever they're doing with Jack Perry isn't working. I just feel they haven't given really any of the gimmicks enough time to marinate. But either way, here we are with the reunited Luchasaurus and Jack Perry. No longer Jungle Boy though. But they've got to win, man. I love the Bucks. I love everything they're doing, and especially love the storyline where they become poor. It's hilarious, man. It's actually one of the best things in wrestling, one of the most entertaining things whenever something is wrong with their entrance, whenever they get disrespected backstage by being placed with jobbers and stuff. It's hilarious, man. But they can keep that going indefinitely. They don't need a win here. Jurassic Express do, so Jurassic Express for the win.
Okay, so the thing about this one is that it's a bit of a catch-22 for AEW because, like, Hayter hasn't been back for long, so it wouldn't be great to have her lose at a pay-per-view yet. But, like, equally, Tekla is like this star. I feel like it could be on the rise, but I don't know if they're sure that they want her to be on the rise. Over the course of the feud, I think Jamie Hayter's probably going to win, but I think for this match specifically, what's happened is that Sky Blue obviously ate the pin against Hayter on Dynamite. So you're going to make this triangle of ladies look really weak if Jamie then goes and beats the second one within the space of a few days. So I think the numbers game will come into effect here, and I think that Tekla will win this match, but this won't be the last time. But Tekla to win.
Yeah, this one was a wild card pick. I just literally my invisible coin, and my invisible coin came up Jamie Hayter. The reason I'm picking is because I know her. I know of her. I've seen her wrestle in person, and at AEW, I've seen her at Eve. Yeah, I saw her at Eve, didn't I? It did not stay back for a picture. I had to run. Yeah, that was weird. But yeah, I want to pick. Yeah, I swear Chris Statlander and Jamie Hayter had a little rivalry for a little bit. I can't remember who it was, but yeah. Once again, waffling again. Sticking with Jamie Hayter. Simple reason, I know her. Alright, the next one is...
This is the first time that they're going to face each other, but I like the way that they put it together. They actually had like a little semi-storyline there. Since Jamie Hayter's come back, they've just been a thorn in the side, especially Tekla and the Triangle of Terror, or whatever they call themselves. But obviously there are some receipts due here, and Jamie Hayter's only just come back. I think this is probably her second pay-per-view since coming back. So again, you got to keep that run coming. You know, when she came out, she dropped the women's title, and I don't think she's had a shot at it since she's come back. I think, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but there's got to be some kind of role going on here. She's got to get back into that title contention. Tekla's pretty much green. She's not joined too long ago, and she's already found herself in a faction. And again, obviously the other two could get involved, but somebody's got to have Jamie Hayter's back in this situation. And that basically the female version of the clothesline from hell. If she gets that, if she hits with that, which she will, we will have a winner. So I will pick Jamie Hayter to win this match.
This match is actually pretty hard for me as well, man. Like, both women like can use the win. I don't really think either can really afford the loss there, man. Like, Jamie, you know, she's come back, she's been on a tear, but she's still got a while to go to be back on the level she was. Tolka's the new girl, man. She's like really making waves. I like her a lot, man. But who needs that win more, man? It's difficult. I'm gonna go with my girl Jamie for the win. I don't know. This is just biased because I met her. She's lovely. So Jamie Hayter for the win.
This show has many matches that have me in a weird position of having to pick, and this is one of them. We are talking Jamie Hayter, former champ, and we've got Tekla, who's doing big things at the moment, even inserted herself into title pictures. Which way do we go? Many say that Jamie wins, it puts her in the title picture. Hayter versus Statlander would be a big match. I'm going to go Tekla, though. I believe that Jamie has enough of a presence. It's not been a strong enough presence, I'll give you that, since she's come back from her injury. But we need to build the stock in our future stars, and not just that. I'm going to say the female version of the House of Black Triangle of Madness trio of Insanity. I don't know what they're called, but Sky Blue and Julia Hart being my girls, who I missed at any show. But that's not the point right now. The point is, I believe Tekla's going to win because of the extra hands available. Sorry, Jamie. Right. So, once again, it looks like most people have gone the same way, apart from Den the Tech. You heard Den the Tech say Eve. You heard me say Eve. You heard Big Tone mention Met in person. So, just to clarify, the feud wasn't between Jamie Hayter and Chris Statlander. Jamie Hayter took on Alex Windsor pre-AEW signing, and Chris Statlander won the Eve International title against Anita Vaughn. Anyone who's not familiar with Eve, it's an all-women performing wrestling promotion down here in the UK in London. Absolutely amazing. It's great stuff. The MOW are in the house, so do check them out or come and check us out for more info and we could pass it on. Awesome promotion team, awesome hosts most of the time. Great entertainment and some of the best matches. Last year, I mentioned how Alex Windsor versus Charlie Morgan was my match of the year, and it's still one of those matches I regard very, very highly in the annexes of wrestling, guys. So let's not play the women's wrestling, men's wrestling. It's an all-women's promotion. Good to have the spotlight, but absolutely amazing. So just because you guys heard Eve, I'm giving you guys that one. Anyway, let's go from a bit of women's wrestling to a bit of tag wrestling as Brodido take on the Don Callis family. Tag titles on the line right now. Don Callis family is looking pretty good. We got TNT title, we got unified title, and we have the NJPW title. So these guys are doing good. Can they bring tag team gold in? We don't know. Let's see how we voted. It doesn't confirm it's going to happen one way or the other. How the guys vote? Let's have a look.
Yeah, I cannot pick against them. They're going to cost me a point when they lose because I'm always going to pick Brodingo. Yeah, they are really a really good team, and what I've seen with them I can't even speak English. Yeah, so what I've seen with them on my weekly watch along show, they flipping, you got the high flyer and the brute, and together that's usually the tag team dream is like a big strong guy for the hot tag and a little one to get thrown around. But yeah, they just work really well together. I like what I see, and yeah, keep them champ for quite some time. So with that, I'm gonna stick with Brodingo to be. I don't even know who they're going up against. Let's see if I can see the chat. Oh, the Dallas can. The Don Callis family. Nah, yeah, Brodingo winning.
You know what? In any other world, right, if you were to put Okada and Takeshita together, they should be having a match against each other. But obviously, they're planting the seeds. It's coming, but this is the road we're going down. Instead, they're a tag team going for the tag team titles. Now, like the Team Man Power Trip, it would be interesting, there's that word again, if the new IWGP champion Kenosuke Takeshita and the unified champion Okada were to become tag team champions, because then it would be two belt champs, you know what I mean? Technically three belts if you're putting the two titles together, because eventually they're going to come apart again. But they're planting the seeds. If you saw Dynamite, they're definitely planting the seeds, because obviously there was a video of Takeshita and then Okada just got the remote control and switched him off. So again, they're planting the seeds, and the dissension of that might happen that night. You know, evidently Takeshita's going to catch wind of what he did, and yeah, there's going to be some problems. Hadn't it not been for that, easily, this video wouldn't have been this long. I would have been like Okada and Takeshita. Simples. But you know that build-up is coming for them to face each other. There's that dissension in the ranks. I think Takeshita's going to be the one that goes on his own path again, and he comes out of the Don Callis family. Second to fall after Will Ospreay. So, Yeah, still, and again, Brodido are on fire as well. So still, your AEW World Tag Team Champions, Brodido.
Now, on any given day, I would never bet against Takeshita and Okada, man. I would say they would win the belts and ride off into sunset easily. But no, the dissension here between Okada and Takeshita is going to split off, leading into a one-on-one match between them two. So ultimately, they will be getting the tag team titles here, man. So your winner and still tag team champions, Brodido.
These men could walk in with a title each, walk out with 2 titles each. The Don Callis family would be on top of the world with that one. I know there's one man who I think signed with them and may not be available for a year, but this would be the perfect situation. New Japan Pro Wrestling champ, the unified champ or continental champ, whatever he's called. But, we're talking 2 of the best in this business. Okada and Takeshita holding absolutely everything. As I said, there's a few matches that are hard ones. This is one of them. I'm going to say Brodido but then the whole feud now doesn't really matter because they've both got a title unless it's holding AEW gold. This looks like the team that could beat Brodido. Oh, I'm torn. I feel like they could hold it. The time limit's coming to an end. Mental coin flip. Brodido, but I'm going to regret it. Brodido for the win.
I do like the idea of a Japanese 2-man power trip. I have to say, Okada holding the you can't call it the Intercontinental belt, can you? Okada holding the unified belt, and Takeshita holding the IWGP World Championship, and then both of them being a tag team together. I mean, that's how I'd book it, just Japanese 2-man power trip. It's awesome. If they do that, awesome. Like, all for that. But they're obviously planting the seeds that Okada and Takeshita can't coexist, which might be a swerve, but I don't think it is. I think Brodido are going to retain here, and I think that's going to be the catalyst that forces Okada and Takeshita apart. But God, I'd love the 2-man power trip from the land of the rising sun. That would be so cool. But yeah, no, Brodido to retain their titles here.
I pause because the more I listen to Leon and Nico, Simsy, Double V, this 2-man power trip scenario, again, if we go back into the annexes of what we know, everyone was expecting Triple H to turn on Austin. They didn't. They went on to win further gold. So I can comfortably say I'm not going to change my mind, even though really deep down in my heart, I feel like it would go that way. I feel like that's the way, but I'm going to stick with it. But do not be surprised if we are all wrong and those guys win the title. But yes, as it stands, all guys are voting for Brodido. So let's keep it moving as we talk Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe. TNT title on the line. How'd the guys vote? Let's have a...
This has got to be the second hardest match for me to predict. I mean, really hard. Exactly like Tony Storm and Chris Statlander. It could go either way. Mark Briscoe definitely would deserve a singles titles run, and if he were to win it, it would be his first singles championship. But Carl Fletcher's doing some things with that title, man, and he's been defending it as well. Whether by nefarious means or whether he's won it fair and square, he's been defending it. So if Mark Briscoe wins, where do we go from here? You know, he wouldn't be doing anything that Kyle Fletcher hasn't done, apart from find another rivalry. And at the same time, he could win it and then lose it. Hot potato thing again, you know. It does work in certain storylines. But then there hasn't really been a built-up rivalry in terms of... See, Briscoe's rivalry was with MJF. He's had that rivalry with MJF. He's got past MJF. Now, usually it goes on that they would... It's like that story. Everyone's followed him. Everyone got behind him. And then he's finally won that singles title. And we've had that in quite a few scenarios. I don't think it's going to happen in this one just yet. I might be wrong, and if I'm wrong, congratulations, Mark Briscoe. But in this case, still your TNT champion, Carl Fletcher.
This one is actually a lot harder than I would have thought it is, man. Mark Briscoe's already been on a tear. They sort of like building him to be one of the key players on AEW television, and to be honest, it's well deserved. And he's over like whoa, so why not? But Kyle Fletcher, man, Kyle Fletcher is the future. He's been built as the future. Yeah, and like it's not in the future, the present really. It's the present leading into the future. We gotta keep that going. So your winner and still TNT champion, Kyle Fletcher.
So I may look like a hater. He came out on top last time. He beat MJF, which would put you in a very good contendership. If you're going to beat a former champion, you should be able to beat a TNT champion. No disrespect to a TNT champion when I say this. However, let's spin it the other way. Mark Briscoe has just won. The Proto Star himself, Kyle Fletcher, has just lost his last match. Did he lose? Yes, he did, because he lost to Adam Hangman Page. Yes, I'm right. We can't have the Proto Star losing 2 matches in a row. This boy is the future. So with that, I'm sorry, Mark. You may be one of them boys, but you're going to take a 1, 2, 3, and the Proto Star, Kyle Fletcher, remains your TNT champion.
Keep this one nice and short. Kyle Fletcher's going to win. Not really much to add on here. Hey, Kyle Fletcher to win.
Yeah, y'all know my thoughts on Mark Briscoe. I'm a bad man. No, you're not. Anyway, Keith Fletcher is going to take this one. Looks like a champ, acts like a champ, is the champ, and going to remain the champ. I watched his match. Yeah, I watched it, not the last one gone, the one before. And yeah, flipping good in the ring. Reminds me of Billy Gunn a bit. Yeah, y'all know what Billy Gunn I was talking about if you go watch that. Yeah, it reminds me of Billy Gunn, the way his look, his stature, his style. But yeah, and if you know Billy should have been a champ, his asthma held him back. Yeah, that's right. He had a madman for a boss. So come on. Anyway, Keith Fletcher is winning. Oh, is it Fletcher? Yeah, that's his winning.
Guys, give Den credit. He was the wrestling fan who didn't watch wrestling. Now he's watching at least one a week. So the fact that he went from Kyle to Keith and he questioned the Fletcher over the Kyle, we'll let it be. But yes, guys, everyone seems to be leaning towards the Proto Star to retain the TNT title. Now, if it was up to me, the match that I'm calling next would be the main event, because I think it's all going to be all kinds of BS crazy, or Bat-S crazy is what I was trying to say, just trying to avoid any swear words. But we are talking Darby Allin, Jon Moxley, I Quit match. As I said, should be the main event, but it's not up for a title, so I understand why it won't be. So I put it slap bang in the middle. Well, just past the middle. Anyway, either way, guys, Darby Allin, Jon Moxley said it for the second time. I Quit match. How'd the guys vote? Let's have a look.
So as I sit here on location in beautiful Turkey, Dalaman, yeah, got me pondering on who's gonna win between Jon Moxley and Darby Allin. It's interesting because you would think in it like automatically it'd be Darby as he's recently returned, but they're sort of trying to repackage the Death Riders, aren't they? With the addition of Garcia, the return of Pac. So I don't know, are they trying to build them back up? It's difficult, man. It's an I Quit match and Darby will never quit though. Moxley, it's difficult, man. All right, you know what? I'm going to go with Darby Allin for the win.
This feels very, 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 very throwback to Mankind and Kane. Mankind and The Rock, the I Quit match there. Sadly, Darby Allin has said the words, it's not too late to say I quit. I don't think we've heard the words come out of Jon Moxley's mouth, and they've both said that neither man will say I quit, so where do we go from here? And let's be honest, you've got Mox, who I would have said is more likely to have said I quit. Again, the descent of the Death Riders. Now, the Death Riders are in a pre-show match, which thankfully we're not predicting, because I'm not too sure which way I would have gone. Do we go with Mox says I quit and is the first? Because even if they've lost, is it all a descent in one night? It does happen. Or vice versa, do we have Darby Allin, the absolute pain cushion that he is, say I quit? I think it's going to be the tape being played of him saying I quit, and it builds the momentum even more. That's the only reason I'm going for that. Otherwise, I probably would have leaned Mox. Jon Moxley for the win. Darby Allin says I quit.
What's scary about this match? Results-wise, I think it's quite obvious. I'm going to put a swerve on me, but I do think it's quite obvious that Darby Allin wins this one, because it's now become a question of finally he has to do it. Like, he's lost a coffin match. He's been smacked about by the Hurt Syndicate, not the Hurt Syndicate, by the Death Riders pretty much since he's come back. So he needs this receipt now. He needs to get his revenge. He needs to deliver his receipt. What scares me about this match isn't who wins. What scares me about this match is how far are these guys going to go? I mean, we've seen forks, we've seen flamethrowers, we've seen molotovs, we've seen bricks. Like, are the pizza cutters and forks and things coming out? Like, how far are we actually going? It's kind of worrying, but I do think, irrespective of what state these guys' bodies look like at the end, Darby Allin is going to get Jon Moxley to say, I quit. So Darby to win.
Moxley and Darby again. Anyway, coffin match where you think Darby will win, Moxley win. I quit match. I can't see Darby quitting unless like they hold someone and he has to quit to save them. But I'm going to go with Darby Allin still anyway. Just make it, one apiece. If he's meant to be a star, you can't keep beating him. He has to win at least one time. And quitting is a big deal. So, yeah. And plus, he's meant to be Mr. Tough Guy, Mr. Crazy Guy, Mr. I break my arm and dive off the thing backwards. The coffin drop for crying out loud. So, yeah, all of that, I have to go with Darby Allin to take this. Don't let me down, Darby. I need these points.
When a rivalry gets that deep, it ends in one of three ways: a Hell in a Cell, a cage, or an I Quit match. And an I Quit match is literally like a no DQ, hardcore, Falls Count Anywhere, more or less of a microphone being put in your mouth asking if you want to quit or not, more than the pin. But it's all these things at once, and everyone can get involved. There's nefarious means, shout out to Big Tone, and literally anything and everything can happen. But since Darby has been back, he's not exactly had the receipts handed out just yet. And I think it's about time that Mox gets another receipt. He already got one when he lost the world title to Hangman Adam Page, but now he needs to get another receipt for what Darby has been going through for the last, how long now? From before he got injured to when he got injured to when he's come back. And again, like I said, if you saw Dynamite, my gosh, I don't think you're going to have to, well, if you kill him, you can't ask him if he quits because he'd be dead. But at the end of the day, I'm thinking because of what's been happening, you're more likely to get I quit out of Mox more than Darby Allin. And the other thing I'm thinking is, obviously, if Darby quits, where does he go from here? It will probably affect him more than it would affect Mox. Mox can quit and literally challenge for the world title the next day. So I think it's pretty obvious that Darby's going to get the win here. So Darby Allin for the win.
I mean, good question, Leon. Where does Darby go from here if he loses? All is not lost. All is not lost if you go by the stick that I go by. Mox, on the other hand, as you said, could be a good contender for the title. Let's rebuild it. If the Death Riders are a thing that people aren't booing anymore, hey, let's put the belt back in the briefcase. No, not trying to wind anyone up with that. But no, you get what I'm saying. So look, I'm the only one who's gone down the Mox road. We'll see. I know the way my luck goes. Probably congratulations, guys. Come on, Mox. Anyway, believe in the Mox. Believe in the Mox. Right, you know what I'm saying. If you know, you know. Talking of one former Fed boy to three former, four. Here we go. Trios time. It's the Hurt Syndicate. I have to stress on Syndicate because I keep saying business because this man are on business as they take on Ricochet and the G.O.A, also known as The Demand. Which way did the guys vote? Let's have a vote. Comes another tough one. Obviously, I want to say I stick with it. They hurt people. I want to stick with that. I want to go Hurt Syndicate all day, every day, baby. But I called it last time they lost, and they lost. Now, in the era of rubber matches, this is where you go for it. And you'd say Hurt Syndicate, take the win. It's still this Cedric Alexander point that's in me because I was like, I've also heard of a possible dissension within the group. Don't hurt the Hurt Syndicate, Tony. Don't make the mistake Up North made. Um, I'm gonna go with the Syndicate. I'm gonna go with the Hurt Syndicate to get the victory because I feel like even if I'm wrong, everybody else is gonna vote the same way as me. So I'll live with it that way. Hurt Syndicate for the win.
I think some retribution is needed now. Now, MVP ate the loss last time, costing the Hurt Syndicate the victory. And I think a receipt is due, and I think it would be quite poetic for MVP to actually get the pinfall here. Even if it's not him that initiates the finisher, but him being the one to actually pin Ricochet, I think is the right booking choice to do. They've actually done a pretty good job with this Demand faction with booking Ricochet and G.O.A. together. I like them. And they've kind of made them bordering on the Bulletproof, whereby even if they eat a loss here, I don't think they actually lose a lot of power and they seem like a legit force. But I think the Hurt Syndicate need this win, so I'm going to go with the Hurt Syndicate.
So this is a reshoot because my dyslexia kicked in big time and I started saying Diamond when I meant Demand. I don't even know if that's what they meant to say, but Ricochet and his bunch, they're gonna win. Simple thing, I always pick Hurt Syndicate. A big shock, Denatech not picking Hurt Syndicate as well. But yeah, I just think it's time for me to, you know what, enough is enough and it's time for a change. And I'm going with Demand to win. As I said, Ricochet and his people. There we are.
This is another rivalry I've actually got to enjoy. And it's actually been organically authentic. The Demand, especially with Ricochet, he's now getting the shine that he finally deserves. I mean, WWE really, really underutilized him. They didn't push him in the right way they should have. He should have at least held a mid-card title for like some time, you know? Like basically the thing that Carl Fletcher's on right now, this is what Ricochet should be on right now. And if you saw him in Lucha Underground, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. And obviously, they've got the better of the Hurt Business. They've caused them to lose their tag team titles. They've got a win over them over the last pay-per-view. And they've actually, you know, been a thorn in their side, as I said previously. But I think it's time for those receipts again. This might be the PLE or the pay-per-view of the receipts, because again, another receipt is due. It's getting a little bit too cocky now, and I think it's time that he needs to be put in their place. Plus, you can't. The Hurt Syndicate have obviously had their run. They've lost their tag team titles. They lost the match against the Demand in the last pay-per-view. So now it's, you know, you got to kind of give them some kind of credibility here. And again, receipts are due. So without any further deliberation, the Hurt Syndicate for the win.
Wow. Do they still hurt people? Because, man, the Hurt Syndicate be getting violated by the Demand, man. But that as such, like, you know, with the losses they've took to them, I feel they need to get their lip back. And this is it here, man. So I'm going to go with the Hurt Syndicate to indeed hurt people. And Hurt Syndicate for the win.
Damn you, Dendatech. Why? Because I said I think all the boys are going to vote the same way, and then it won't hurt me if I'm wrong. Dendatech voted the other way. And also, before anyone questions it, yes, I did say DOA. I meant to say GOA. That's the one. But we move on. Everybody but Den went down the way of the GOA. So yes, Den went down the GOA, or the Demand way, and everyone went up Hurt Syndicate. That's the way of it. So yeah, very interesting. And we continue to move on. Also, I think I need to address one thing. I believe I said everybody. Well, no, I just highlighted it. No, Nico and I went Tekla. Everybody else went Jamie Hayter. We addressed the Eve situation, and I'm just clarifying everything before we go off. Anyway, let's not waste any time, guys. Let's talk Chris Statlander, who was also at Eve, versus the timeless one, Tony Storm, for the AEW Women's Championship. How did the guys vote? Let's have a look.
I am slightly worried and scared that Tony Storm is about to go back to WWE. This feels a lot like the way they booked Jade Cargill after she lost the TBS Championship ironically also to Chris Statlander. And then very shortly after dropping the belt to Statlander, they had Jade challenge her again, and Stat beat her clean. And that was the last we saw of Jade Cargill. Next thing you know, she's debuting in the Royal Rumble. I think Tony's about to go back to the Fed, which sucks because she's the best female wrestler in AEW. We'll see if that happens, how she gets booked. That's a different video for another time, I guess. But I do think she's about to lose clean here. I think Statlander's about to retain, and I worry about the future of the Timeless One. But yeah, Chris Statlander to win.
Yeah. Last time was the first time I picked against Statlander. I always pick Statlander, but Timeless One has got something in my heart. I've got something in my heart for Timeless Tony Storm. But I can't make the same mistake twice. I'm going to stick with Chris Statlander, win, lose, or draw, because I always go for her, and every time I do, she wins. And if she doesn't, it's very rare she don't win. So I'm going to stick with that, even though I love Tony with the belt. Tony Storm with the belt is amazing. Without the belt would be amazing as well, but yeah, I love her without the belt, with the belt. And let's see what she does without it now. She went for quite a while without it, but you know what? I'm just waffling. I'm sticking with Chris Statlander. I'm just saying that. Done. Easy.
This has to be one of the hardest matches on the bill for me to call, like really hard, because there was no omens, there was no giveaways. The promos were absolutely brilliant, and even on Dynamite, if you saw it, the way that they were both going at it, it was even Stevens, and they both got on their knees against each other to hit each other, but they didn't. Tony just kissed Chris on the head and then they walked out. But that's how you drop a promo, where there's no giveaways. And anyone could win. It could go either way. Tony could win back the title. No one would have a problem. Chris could retain. No one would have a problem. You know, but I think there was a few telltale signs I got from Tony. It might just be me, but I think I saw a few telltale signs where she's going to have a run without the title. She doesn't really need it. You know, it's the person that makes the title, not the other way around, the way at least it should be like that. So, I think she's probably going to go on that run now without the title. Maybe it's time for someone else to get the shine, which is commendable as well. And this is Chris's first title defense at a pay-per-view since winning it, I believe. So again, like I always say, when it comes to that first title defense, it's very rare that the holder loses. Not that there would be a problem with it, because, you know, there's that hot potato factor. Look at Kane and Stone Cold when Kane won the WWE title. Next day he lost it. So there are a few factors there, you know what I mean? But in this case, if Tony wins it back, I'd be happy. But for obvious reasons, I think Chris Statlander is going to retain. Whatever shenanigans or nefarious means is going to happen for her to lose, whether Wheeler Yuta has anything to do with it, I don't know. But for now, I think still your AEW Women's World Champion, Chris Statlander.
Hasn't the build-up to Statlander versus Storm being just nothing but fantastic, man? Like, those ladies, man. This is the type of thing that I've been saying for Statlander she needed for a long time. Stuff to do, you know, so we could actually see her character. She's great, man, and she's showing it here. And she's going to have a banging world title reign, which she deserves, man. She's earned it. As such, I can't see it ending so soon. Like Tony, man, she will get number 5, but she don't need it right now. So, Chris Statlander for the win.
So, when it was Mariah May and Tony Storm, we got the Timeless One get her title back. That's not the case this time. Chris Statlander is going to hold. She's been with AEW forever. And I think this is a bit of a payoff. It's finally come. I remember yonks ago, Nico quoting Chris Statlander, and this one came out of nowhere, and I think that's where she's got to hold it. Prove that it wasn't just out of nowhere thing. And sadly, I've got a bit of an idea of why that's going to happen in terms of how you can... Well, it doesn't really matter, but long story short, Chris Statlander is going to hold, and she'll hold for a while until someone else comes along. But when that time comes, I'll make my call. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But Chris Statlander still your AEW Women's Champion. Okay, so it feels like everyone feels the Timeless One's time is up. Sorry, Tony, but Chris Statlander seems to be having everyone's vote. And rightfully so. It's been a good run. But it's time for someone else, darling. But Keep your chin up. Keep your chin up. Right, guys. Time for the main event. Yes, we are talking Adam Hangman Page versus Samoa Joe for the AEW World Title. How'd the guys vote? Let's have a look.
Yeah, as much as I love Samoa Joe, I see Hangman taking this just because it's Hangman and everyone's just they love a Hangman. As I said before, I don't see the appeal, but I did watch a match on one of my watch-alongs, and yeah, he's actually. Do you know what? He's a comedic wrestler that does crazy things and very athletic. He should go into that, but he's been something else. Yeah, doesn't matter. I'm still picking Hangman, even though Samoa Joe's going to give him a ultimate short chance. So yeah, Hangman to take this. Please.
See, now the last time Samoa Joe was in a world title fight, I betted against him and I lost. Now, don't get me wrong, it was the proudest point I'd ever lost because it was well deserved, long overdue. WWE should have made him WWE or World Champion, but evidently they didn't, especially with that rivalry with AJ Styles where he was threatening for him to go night-night and become the new daddy. But yeah, it was long overdue. So obviously, again, like I said, it was the happiest point I'd ever lost. But this time around, I think there's a little bit of a different feel to it, you know. I actually thought it was going to drop the Trios title on Dynamite, but they didn't. They retained, and then there was a little bit where Hangman kind of saved him because he got attacked by LFI. And then obviously he stuck the title in him and then walked out. This time around, I don't think he's going to win the world title this time around. I mean, if I'm shocked again, then you know what? Fair play to AEW. Once again, it would be well deserved. It wouldn't be a bad thing if there's a little bit of a hot potato thing with the world title, just for it to go back or whatever. If it's just create a good storyline, then yeah, I'm all for it. But Hangman has got a bit of something to prove with his second run of the AEW world title, and I don't think it should stop here. He only just got it from Moxley. I say only just. It's been a couple of months, but at the same time, he needs, another good run. He had a good first run, but he needs like a memorable second run, like most people that has won the world title their second time around. So despite the history and everything else, I'm gonna go with, and still your AEW World Champion, Hangman Adam Page.
Hangman versus Joe really came out of nowhere, to be honest, man. It's something that I didn't even actually really know that I needed. But I actually really do want to see that match, man, because Joe is a smasher, isn't he, man? And like Hangman is, he's on the run of his life, so it's going to be an excellent match. Ultimately, though, it's more filler. I can't see Joe get the title back at this stage, man. So, yeah, your winner is still AEW World Champion, Hangman Adam Page.
Personal preference aside on this one, I am going to go with Adam Hangman Page. I'm not too sure what the angle is and where they're going with this, but the Hangman is going to be on his thing. I know Joe's got a retirement pending. I don't think he needs a title run leading into that, but more than anything, it just feels like it's Hangman. There's no building why Samoa Joe needs to take the title right now. Don't get me wrong, the last time he had the title, that was the case, but no, I'm going to stick with it. Adam Hangman Page, still your AEW champion.
To quote Big Tone, Joe ain't winning shib. Hangman's winning this. It'll be a fun match. I kind of wish it had a bit more of an interesting build, but yeah, Hangman to win.
Okay, we're all on the Hangman train. As I said, it's happened before. Chris Statlander, I believe most of us went Tony Storm in the Fatal 4-Way. The last time Samoa Joe said, much to Leon's credit, none of us went Samoa Joe. These stuff happen, you get these swerves. This doesn't even feel like a main event, and that's the part that hurts. You can give a build-up. If you've got two fantastic stars, go for it. Go back to our last show, pay-per-view. Nick mentioned it about where's the build in AJ Styles versus John Cena. It's the same here. Give it a build, guys, and you get more excitement, more of a twist and turn out of the guys. But that's where it's at. Another thing I just want to highlight, I keep saying Cedric Alexander with the Hurt Syndicate. I've done some research. He's officially signed to TNA. I'll stop. Nico is a bit nervous about the Timeless One going to WWE. She's quoted that she's an AEW lifer. Plus, she's up until March 2026. That would be a long time to keep her off the shelf. I get it. Try and lose stock, but relax, Nico. I think she's there. Guys, Let's keep it short and sweet as best as we can. Ministry of Wrestling on all socials apart from X, formerly Twitter, MOW News. If you're new to the channel, please press the like and the subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you know when the videos are coming out. But you know how it is. The Ministry of Wrestling, do comment below with your predictions. We'd love to hear from you. Until the next time, I am the one AJ representing the Ministry of Wrestling, and we are out.